The starting 11 first for Colorado Rapids 2 and manager Eric Boucher rolling with a 4-3-3, who under manager Jeremy Hall lines up in a 3-5-2. Also 4 personnel changes for the Loons, 2 of which coming at that back 3, one of those being Nicolas Romero dropping down from the Minnesota United first team. 25 MLS appearances this season for 5 in blue there on the bottom left side of your screen. He's also dished out 5 assists. Romero, the Argentine, trying to help anchor a back line for Minnesota United against an explosive Colorado Rapids 2 side who are coming off a 4-1 victory against Tacoma Defiance on the road last week. 3 of those goals coming in the second half. In fact, 3 of them coming in the final 10 minutes of that contest. Boucher and company this weekend reflecting on that result against Tacoma Defiance that eliminated Defiance from the playoffs. Called it an important win, acknowledged going in that Tacoma was a desperate team fighting for their playoff lives, and Boucher compared that desperation to Minnesota's desperation a bit today, saying it's not as great, but the Rapids' desire to win must outmatch Minnesota's need to win. Melvin Rivas is our center referee. He sounds the whistle. We are underway in Colorado for the 3rd and final matchup of the regular season between Minnesota United and Rapids 2 against Colorado Rapids 2 on the road. The other being Sam Sashoa in that contest. Now it's turned upfield here by Rapids 2. Rolling along this near touchline and finally out of the reach of Rogelio Garcia. Minnesota United and manager Jeremy Hall coming in looking for would be their 3rd victory in their last 6 matches. Took down Town FC and Austin FC in consecutive matches. Played City to a 1-1 draw, but only able to capture 1 point from that after going up on St. Louis City 2. The Western Conference leaders early in the 8th minute thanks to this man right here on the right, Logan Dorsey. 5 goals in his last 6 appearances. He's recorded a point in 7 straight. Dorsey cuts it over. Kamara probing around. Still Kamara from distance, and Starks hugging that far post will make the grab. Amadou gives it up. Here's Stevie Flores. Anderson going to ground. A heavy collision here with Garcia and a quick early yellow out of the pocket of Melvin Rivas. Stevie Flores, Colorado Rapids 2, taking exception to the challenge applied by Anderson Ferris. Right here on the bottom of your screen, Ferris going in. Garcia hadn't corralled the ball in, and immediately Stevie Flores having a word with Anderson Ferris. Garcia, 57 in maroon, is back to his feet, which is a welcome sign for Eric Boucher, watching on there right in the center of your screen on that Rapids 2 touchline. He's been physical affairs this year between Colorado and Minnesota. 67 combined fouls, 10 yellows in the 2 prior meetings in April and June of this year. Fuda and Amadou not on the same page, and Minnesota will take over possession via the throw-in. A chance to speak with Jeremy Hall of Minnesota United 2 earlier this week. And he's a very positive guy generally, but you could tell the sound of his voice, there was just a little bit of frustration in it that Minnesota, despite having significant opportunities these last few weeks as the advantage played to the Loons, they have not been able to properly pounce on them. Currently sitting in 7th in the Western Conference after Ventura County picked up extra points. This lifted inside to Dorsey, tucks it in! Six goals in his last 7 games for Logan Dorsey. It's an early lead for Minnesota on the road, 1-0. Jeremy Hall and Minnesota United, they talk about There is no Kieran Chandler, no Kurt Kolov today for Minnesota United too. Raising questions on whether they'll be available for selection for Eric Ramsey in Minnesota United. Meanwhile, Colorado Rapids too, trying to play it forward. And instead it's reclaimed by Niang. Adam Beaudry, the lone player that has seen minutes for Rapids too, that was on the bench, and their 3-1 loss. This is given up here at the back. Garcia lays it off, fired wide. An opportunity on a quick counter. And Dauda Amadou, rather, Mamadou Bilou-Diop, that is, just fiddling it wide. A good takeaway initially by Wathuda. The give up smartly by Garcia. Melvin Rivas trying to hurry Kane Rizvanovic up to get this contest restarted, and it is finally restarted. More whistles. That has been somewhat of a consistent theme now over 12 minutes in. Looking for Sidney Wathuda again, instead reclaimed by Minnesota United too. Well timed on the challenge though. Bilou-Diop cuts it across. Rogelio Garcia fiddled it wide of the near post again. Perhaps a bit too physical early on. 5 fouls. Wathuda drives it back in. Ricochets off the head of one. Now here's Rogelio Garcia at the end line. Torres couldn't muscle him off the ball, and now Rogelio Garcia goes back down, and this will be another free kick. Sharp angle here on this ensuing set piece for Rapids too. Almost play this like a corner. As you see the foul count there on your screen, and that, other than Dorsey's early goal, has really been the story of this first half. There's been a lot of fluidity or rhythm to the opening 28 minutes because of the bevy of whistles we've seen. Wathuda, the point man on this free kick. Lifts it, looking for that back post, headed away. Flores back inside, headed toward Rizvanovic, who makes the grab. Rizvanovic, 41 saves, 15 goals allowed in 12 prior starts. This is his 13th of the season. Jeremy Hall, throughout the year, whether it's Kaiserun in goal, whether it's Kane Rizvanovic in goal, he has reiterated that he feels like this Minnesota United 2 squad has an exceptionally stout goalkeeping room. Rizvanovic, one of the leaders in that room, is this lumped over the top, and Dorsey will track it down again. Here's Dorsey, trying to touch it inside. Cleared out by Charlie Harper. Minnesota will have a corner. We'll head out to New York City and hear from NYCFC at the halftime break, which we have reached with the whistle from Melvin Rivas. Our score at the break, Minnesota United 2, up 1-0 over Colorado Rapids. At long last, the whistle from Melvin Rivas, and we're underway for the second 45 minutes between Minnesota United and Colorado Rapids. Headed down by Torres over to Farinha. One of the things that Jeremy Hall from Minnesota United 2 had identified as something that Minnesota needed to do in this contest is Dorsey will draw a whistle, and now some more after that whistle as Dorsey goes tumbling down. One of the areas, though, that Jeremy Hall from Minnesota United 2 had identified as what could potentially be a key to this match is if Minnesota could consistently create overloads, numerical advantages in that midfield. They didn't do it consistently in the opening half, but once the clock has rolled over to the second 45, they started to turn the corner a bit in that regard. Is that out of the reach of Cameron? Rapids 2 back on it, rolled ahead. Here's Ali Fadal, touched in front, blown over the bar and out. Again, Colorado using that press to create quick counter-attacking opportunities. This is a good ball in from Fadal. Sosnowski has the throw from Minnesota on the near side. Ball's back to him. Cameron of the 5 in the midfield today for Minnesota United too. Did a lot to help lock down those wide channels. Now here's Hossa. He'll drill this toward Rizvanovic. Had to take it off the chest before settling it down, but ultimately does control that one. So far, Minnesota United 3 shots in this second half, but none of them have gone on target. In fact, neither team has registered a shot on target so far in the second 45 minutes. Despite the amount of whistles in the first half, we did see, as the half carried on, some real fluidity. Now, defender got it wrong here. Starks has to come out to clear it away. One back by Masanvi and palmed away by Starks. Out for a corner. That's the second time that Kendall Starks has come out away from his home in net, trying to make a play at it with his feet. That time, able to corral it in. We saw in the first half he'd come out and misread it a bit, but it left a wide open goal in front. A good job by Starks to then get back, recover, and just bat that ball away. Here's Minnesota. They'll have another corner, first of the half. Scored off a corner in June. Will make his 5th appearance of the season. Minnesota counters with Brady Schumacher in line for his 9th appearance of 2025. Rapids 2 still with one more change to be made before hitting their full allotment of 5. Minnesota, they've only made 3 changes as Momo Kamara coming off, flanked by the training staff. And the Loons will have a free kick. Colorado will hold that change of Strohmeyer. Still over in that substitution area. Loons have converted just 1 free kick into a goal in 2025. Fariña stands over it. Fariña offering off the bar and in! Goals in back-to-back matches for Alexis Fariña. It's a rocket for Minnesota, 2-0. This is just well taken, giving more credence to what Jeremy Hall said earlier this week. Meanwhile, Cameron will have a throw, backing up for a long toss in. High arching, angled toward goal, headed away by Niang. Strohmeyer, he'll pick the pieces up here. Cameron drives it, back stick, headed down and in. Rapids 2 able to pull a goal back here in this second half. Mamadou Bilou-Diop, 11 goals in 11 matches. Good ball work again. The whistle sounds. It is all final in Colorado. And Minnesota, despite a frantic push from Rapids 2,